Welcome, gentlemen, Encik Nizar, Mr. Nizar and Jasun. Thanks for coming to this discussion on a very important topic, retirement planning. This is very important for those of us who are age 55 and above, something we never think about. Understand, gentlemen, that retirement is a golden time of our life as we retire after working many years in a corporate life or in self-employment. Mr. Nizar, what do you think are the challenges of retirement? What do you think a person should do as he faces retirement? Mr. Nizar?
It's a very interesting question. Actually, over the years, people have developed a certain way of working. Their lifestyle has been standardized by what they do routinely over their working life. But retirement is a new beginning. So they must learn to adapt to this new beginning. Now, during their working life, they may have a certain mindset. They need to change this mindset and adopt a new mindset. So, which is actually thinking differently what they're going to do, how they're going to react to certain things, how they're going to manage themselves, what should they do to make their golden years more meaningful and meaningful.
Yeah. And in terms of retirement, what issues facing retirees is that how do they keep active? I mean, they've been active before, and it's natural for them to just lay back, sit down, enjoy the life. But understand that keeping active is something that they need to do. It's something that you have seen before.
Well, many people have the wrong impression that the retirement years are years where you could actually relax and do nothing. But actually, you're wrong, because there's plenty of time in your hands. Actually, we are aging longer and longer.
You're living longer and longer.
Yeah. So people will age gracefully as they are still fit, and they need to do something to keep themselves occupied. In the past, people say 1/3 of their remaining years will be spent on retirement.
Oh, I see.
Today is much more than that. I think it goes to about 40% of their life will be
medical science.
Yes. So what are you going to do? You need to develop new interests, new hobbies, think differently, do new things to keep yourself occupied. So you must not only be physically fit and active, you must also be mentally fit and active.
Another area would be the relationship with your family. I understand now when you retire, you have more time with your family. How do you manage that? Because, and the family, there's so many members of family, generational gaps and things like that. What are your insights?
This is a thing which many people do not really want to focus on because it's sensitive, they say. But when people are working for the last 55 or 60 years, they have been out of the house during their working life from morning until late evening. They don't see one another. Spouses don't talk very much during this working period. And then now when you retire, if you do not have any other job after retirement, you'll be spending more time at home.
Sure.
And you'll be looking at each other and trying to manage yourself, What are you going to talk? You have said everything that you have to say, and you now suddenly focus on negative issues about each other, So managing relationships after retirement is extremely important because it can be a very sensitive subject.
Yeah. I think a retiree also has quite a quiet time with himself or herself, and some people actually turn to religion, which is okay and in fact is encouraged. What are your views on that?
Well, there is nothing wrong in being more religious in your life, whether it's during your working life or after retirement. But you must remember one thing though, religion in itself may be insufficient to keep you fully occupied during your retirement years, after you finish your work. You need to be active. You need to find new interests.
New interests.
Yeah, but of course they shouldn't conflict with your religious beliefs and all that. So you can participate in sports, travel, develop new hobbies,
Do some charity work.
Voluntary work. I have friends who actually do a lot of voluntary work for the homeless after their retirement, and they feel really fulfilled and happy that they are doing this. There are others who develop new interests. Another colleague of mine went into photography, is now a professional photographer.
I see.
There's another lady, acquaintance of mine, who is now an artist.
Oh.
And she's able to sell her paintings internationally and makes money out of it, you know. So there are hobbies which people can develop whilst they retire and keep their time active.
Thanks, Nizar. That's been very interesting and very insightful. Personally, what do you do in your retirement? I understand you're a very busy person, director of a few companies, but on the personal side, you have some hobbies, I understand. Interesting ones at that.
Talking about hobbies, I think I have always been accused of having too many hobbies.
I see. Yeah, busy guy.
I collect stamps.
Oh, you
Postage
collect
stamps,
stamps.
yeah. I mean, I've been collecting postage stamps since I was in school.
I see.
And today I go to stamp fairs and auctions and all and buy. I have a complete set of Malaysian postage stamps since the day it was introduced in this country.
I see.
Yeah. I'm also a keen photographer. I have many cameras, and everywhere I travel, I take photographs of interesting things, you know, marketplaces and things like that. Not of myself. I'm not interested in photographing myself. I buy a lot of paintings.
Yeah.
I collect paintings. I travel extensively to visit new places that I've not seen. And I also am one of the few people in this world who collect betel nut cutters.
It's unusual.
Yes, this is the betel nut which many people use, you know, with betel leaf.
It's called kachip or something.
Kachip, yes,
Yeah,
in some cutters. Or supari cutters, they call it in India. So I have betel nut cutters from India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, you know, Burma, Thailand, Indonesia, and I have a few hundred of them. But lately I've started a new hobby, collecting snuff bottles, Chinese snuff bottles. They're very, very interesting, very, very small, very beautiful. It gives me great pleasure when I come home to look at all my collection.
Thanks, Nizar. I think you're a very interesting person to talk with. I wish we could continue with you. But in summary, I think what Nizar has said is that family relationship is very important. And understanding yourself, keeping active, somewhat active, and having a passion for a hobby, I think it's very important. Thank you, Nizar. See you next time. We come to Mr. Soon now. Mr. Soon, you have also been involved in financial planning in retirement, and you, like Mr. Nizar, conducted programs in retirement planning for Shell, for Star Group, and for the Malaysian airline system. What are the main issues regarding financial planning for retirement?
Determining when to retire is a highly personal decision. Some may choose to, take a job that's less stressful.
I see.
But some who have made enough, they just want to retire completely. And as what Mr. Nizar said, explore their hobbies and travel extensively. So I think what is important is whether are you emotionally ready to stop working? Are you financially prepared? So there's a need to look at retirement holistically. There are many considerations that you need to work through. Example will be how and when to retire, how to restructure your retirement income, how long will your nest egg last.
I see. So these are the main issues in retirement. Whether you can, your assets or nest eggs, you call it, will last you for retirement. But how do you protect this nest egg? Because there are unexpected demands of your financials as you retire, as Mr. Nizar pointed out.
Yes, broadly I would see there are a few risk factors. One is all of us know, inflation.
Oh yeah, inflation. Yeah.
So you find that you may have the nest egg, but whether your nest egg can in a way last the inflations that we experience right now. Second one is the rising healthcare costs.
Rising healthcare costs.
Yeah. You see right now it's
not only for yourself actually.
Yeah.
For
their parents as well.
That is the one.
Yeah. And right now you will find that healthcare costs has cost tremendously. And sometimes we do not know. Suddenly there's a certain kind of illness that struck that particular individual, whether they have some protection through insurance. Now we all know also about longevity. You see, research has shown that if we retire at the age of 60, relatively healthy, we can go on to live for another 25 to 30 years.
Good news, bad news, who knows? It depends on how financially sound you are, I suppose.
Then the other part, of course, is the market risk.
Yes.
You have your nest egg. Where are you going to put your money?
Where are you going to put it?
Where are you going to invest?
Yeah, you're all listening carefully now.
Yeah.
Mm. What do you suggest?
Now you find that here, when you are near to retirement, I think protection and preservation of your nest egg is very important.
It's paramount, isn't it?
Yeah, you cannot simply take a lot of risks
Virtually
like
no
when
more.
you are young. You
Virtually-
can't take so much risk right
Sure.
now. And so what is important is you got to protect your nest egg.
Mm.
And you got to ensure that you have that. You have planned so much for your retirement. You got to make sure that you achieve, the kind of a living lifestyle that you desire.
Mm.
But at the same time, you got to make sure that you do not outlive your nest egg. So management,
Yeah.
is critical to preserving the wealth
Yeah.
you have built over the years.
Yeah.
And so what is important here is portfolio management.
Mm.
You need to ensure your retirement nest egg is sufficient for you to live the lifestyle that you desire at least for the next 25 to 30 years.
So soon, also, the retiree and his spouse, do they have to plan from a week-to-week basis? Because there's not much income coming in except for invested assets, unless they're having another job like Mr. Nizam might mention. But on the weekly basis, especially those retiring without that much income, do they need to be conscious of things like inflation, the cost of things and so on, especially the economy now?
Yes, definitely they will have to take that into account. But we have a very simple way of calculation. Looking at their expenses, daily expenses. Depends on how much they want to go.
Yes.
So what we do is we can prepare a monthly or a yearly expenses, and then we will calculate, the kind of a nest egg that they have.
Yes.
Now, what we encourage would be if they do not have sufficient nest egg, we will encourage them to work first.
Work first.
Yeah,
Take a job.
Take another few more years
Part-time
of
job.
work, part time or whatever.
Extend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the worst part will be when they have utilized all their nest egg at the age of 75 and they say, oh, I need to find a job. It would be very difficult.
It's very tough, isn't it? Yeah. Just cutting over to Mr. Nizam for a while, and actually questions for both of you.
Yeah.
In terms of assets, distribution of assets, your children, if you have children, I understand that can be quite a complicated process, not only because legally, but in a relationship scenario as well. Mr. Nizam, what do you think from your experience?
Well, this is a very sensitive topic.
It is.
I have been involved in retirement planning programs with Malaysians, and foreigners, Dutch people.
I understand in Dubai too?
Yes,
both of you?
in Oman and
Oman and Dubai. Yes.
Everywhere, this is an extremely sensitive subject. But the issue here is this: over the years, you have accumulated some wealth, and you have assets.
Sure.
And as we age, there will be a time when we discover that these assets, are still with us. What are we going to do with it? Of course, the simple solution to the problem is to leave it to the law. There's a law of distribution
Okay.
for each country, and it will decide who should get what when you are no longer around. But sometimes the law of distribution can distribute property unevenly.
I see.
There are children who are better off, and there are children who are not so fortunate,
I see.
and they get the same amount of money.
The law says that.
Yeah. So the law says that in order to be equitable. So parents and people who have retired should focus a bit of time to think: should they actually plan this thing and give some property to the less fortunate children or relatives of theirs, and then leave the rest to the law. Now they can do that either as a gift, they can make a will, or they can do some kind of planning. But if you do not do anything about this, then sometimes at the end of the day, some of your family members may feel that they are not equitably, treated. Mothers, for instance, have jewelry. How do you divide them?
Yeah, how do you like that?
Whilst you are alive, you may not be wearing so much of this jewelry. You may decide to give them away to your daughters. So then there is, of course, this other thing. How much money should you actually set aside to take care of your own health, as opposed to the health of your elderly parents? Of course, in some culture, you must do everything to take care of them and pay hefty hospital bills just to keep them healthy and alive. But this may drain your resources.
In that way, Mr. Soon, what percentage of your savings, assets must you keep for medical and things like that? Because it can be an unexpected expense, actually, both aging parents and the retiree himself or herself.
Well, what we have done here in the financial planning side, one is they can take insurance.
Insurance, yes.
Yeah, health insurance.
That's a good one.
That's what we encourage.
Early, take it early.
Early or when they are time, because it so happens that sometimes the companies are covering their employees when they are working.
But not when they retire.
But what we advocate would be, just before retirement. So
take it up.
they should take up this
Medical
insurance.
Okay.
If they are unable to do that, what happens here is they have to set aside a sum of money for their medical expenses. But as a last resort, we are very fortunate in Malaysia. In our public hospitals, it's quite cheap.
See.
It's just that you just have to wait a little bit. Otherwise, it's relatively cheap.
May not be for very long. But gentlemen, we had a pleasure talking with both of you. It's so insightful, and I personally learned a lot from that. I mean, hobbies, relationship from Mr. Nizar, and from you, a kind of cautionary note about finance and looking at unexpected demands from people outside ourselves. Okay, gentlemen, thanks a lot for what you have said. So very insightful experiences you have just shared with us. And to all of us here listening, we have learned a lot from their experiences. I hope that for you now, retirement planning is an important aspect of our lives, all of us. If you need to know more, please talk to us in CDC Consulting, and you get Mr. Nizar, Mr. Soon coming to talk with you. We can conduct programs for you as we've done for Shell, and also for MAB, and also from the Star Group. Thank you, gentlemen, for listening. Thank you, gentlemen.